Welcome back, race fans, to another episode of Off the Track podcast where you get the dirt. I'm Levi Gotzi, and we are here at Blue Chip Technologies Racing Engines. We are a high-performance race engine shop located right here in Heltonville, Indiana. And today we've got joining us on the show, James Lane.
How's it going?
Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by this
afternoon. Not a problem.
We've been pretty fortunate to get a lot of different division drivers in here and get their story. And we got to talking to you, and it sounds like you've got a pretty good history on the Hornet division.
Yeah, a little bit.
So just take us a little trip down memory lane on how you got your start.
Like I was saying earlier, I bought a little Honda Accord back in, I think it was 2008 or 2009. I bought it for nothing, basically. My buddy Tim Robinson talked me into looking up the rules to race the speedrome in a Hornet. So we looked into it. It's cheap, it's easy. I think the most expensive part was buying the tires because I had a tire rule at the time.
Okay.
So we put a hoop bar in it, took it up there, ran. It was insane. It was so much fun, but I stopped because they were crybabies.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the last race that I ran up there. They tried, probably 7 or 8 people tried lap after lap to wreck me. And they got mad because they couldn't do it. I just stayed in the gas because, I'm stupid. Stay in the gas, keep the wheel turned the way you want to go. And, at the end of that race, I had so many people come back talking mad,
talking trash.
Oh, yeah. They stayed from here to your door away from me.
Yeah.
Which was a good thing because I was by myself.
Yeah, right. When
they come back, this big guy, I seen they were mad. They were talking, I thought, man, here I am sitting in my truck, I got a pry bar in the back. So, they come up and get right at my door. I'm going to hit one of them with the door, jump out, grab the.
So it sounds like you were putting together a plan.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it was just all talk.
Yeah.
Because I heard for so long, whatever you do on the racetrack, be sure you can back it up in the pits, but I didn't think I was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So, but that was an interesting time.
So what was it that they were so upset about?
Because I wasn't there every night, every weekend.
You weren't a
racing.
local?
It was my first time. They legitimately told me I should pull over and let them go. Let them go by, not fight them.
Yeah.
I said, dude, it's racing.
Right.
If I was going to do that, I'll just stay home.
If you need to get around me, pass me.
Exactly. I even told him, I said, how long? I asked him, I said, how long you guys been doing this? Oh, 3 or 4 years, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, this is my second time.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't pass me, there's something wrong with you. So.
Did you guys ever go back?
I went back to watch.
Yeah.
I never went back to run. I'll probably take my Crown Vic up there and run it.
There you go.
Just to get back up there because I did like the track. I liked it's pretty neat.
Okay.
But
so for the most part, though, you probably pretty well ran right here close to home.
Oh, yeah. Paragon, Brownstown, Bloomington.
Yeah.
Salem, the big track and the little track, because I did that Redneck Roval thing. That was fun.
Okay.
That was fun.
Well, Bloomington, probably your home track.
Oh, yeah. After Mike left, that track went.
Well,
it was sad. It really was. For a long time, they didn't have anybody to do track prep. We were basically racing on a cornfield.
Yeah.
And, it was just a bad deal. They finally got a kid in there. I feel bad because I can't remember his name now, but he done decent there toward the end. But they just went downhill. They were listening to the wrong people, talking to, catering to a certain set of racers in the Hornet division, and it just phased everybody out.
Well, I got a feeling things are going to change when they when they get opened back up.
Yeah.
I know right now with the shutdown, it's probably looking like it's going to be July before we see any racing up there. But new promoter.
Oh yeah, Joe, he's good. He's good.
They'll have a solid plan for track prep.
Yeah,
and keeping that place top notch. So I'm assuming you guys will probably be running up there some this summer.
Probably not.
They're not going to have you guys on the schedule.
He does. I mean, he'll run Hornets at Paragon.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'll do it once a year.
I thought he did,
Putnamville.
but I wasn't sure about Bloomington.
Yeah.
If they were on the schedule. I've not paid too much attention.
He might have changed it, but I doubt it. I mean, which is, I don't have one, but Dad still has his. So.
Yeah. So basically, you've ran the Hornet division now for sounds like 8 or 9 years, and had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, so much fun, so much fun. When we started, it was insane. I mean, you could just take the windows out of a car, gut it, put a cage in it, and go out and have fun.
Yeah.
And it was.
And probably not have a whole lot of money tied up in it.
No, I think my first car maybe was $500.
Yeah.
It was Chris Decker's old car because he ran the full season in 2011. I got in midway through that season.
Okay.
And Dad called me and he's like, "Hey, you want to get in on this Hornet thing?" And
right.
I was like, "Yeah, why not? Well, you got mine." He goes, "Well, I can get Chris's old car." So I said, "Okay, cool." He got it. I went up there, didn't have no seat, didn't even have a steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I put a bucket, put a pair of vice grips on the quick release, and ran it up and down Gray Street.
Wow.
With a pair of vice grips steering it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that part you were telling me before we started the show where you said that I was asking you if any of your kids were ever
Oh, man, yeah,
you said your 19-year-old
My 19-year-old boy, no, he's good.
You said that he was
smarter
way
than me.
smart.
Way smarter. Way smarter than me. He don't want no part of the race. And I had him he wanted to do a demo a few years ago and built him a car. And the day of the demo, something happened and the car quit running.
Didn't get to go.
He didn't get to. I had a 80s Grand Marquis that I was running. I told him, I said, "Bub, if you want to run, I'll give you that car. You'll be safe in it. No worries at all in that tank."
Mm-hmm.
He had a little Toyota Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was kind of iffy on that because them little cars, believe it or not, they hit really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
Because they can get going real good.
Mm-hmm.
I would have felt better if he would have took the Crown Vic.
Right.
It happens.
So you guys have dabbled in the Derby around here mainly? Or you guys...
I've only ran here in Owen County.
Yeah.
And but my buddies, they go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Henry, Illinois last year, about this time. Well, not this time last year, but in the spring of last year, we went over there. We went to Paoli. Gosh, so many places. Mm-hmm. And I went with friends of mine to run Hornets. Mm-hmm. Went as far as Georgia, down there at Screven.
Is that right?
When they do that winter freeze and those other races down there, and that's a good place.
Sounds like a lot of guys enjoy going down to Georgia.
It's fun. Oh, the promoter down there is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like you're at home, and the food's awesome. Yeah. It is.
Well, everybody likes track food.
Oh, yeah. They have the absolute best.
What's the best track food there?
Their breakfast. Biscuits and gravy.
There you go.
Oh my God!
You don't hear too many people talk about breakfast at the racetrack.
No.
So.
Well, we'll go down and we'll camp and get up in the morning.
They've got the concessions going.
And go get some good food.
Yeah. Well, out of all the tracks that you've ran around here or anywhere else, I guess I should say, it sounds like you've done a little traveling with the Hornets. What would you have to say is your favorite track to hit?
I like Bloomington.
Bloomington?
Yeah. I like Bloomington. I wish, Spiker would run the Hornets.
Yeah.
And he may.
Right.
But that's by far my favorite track.
Mm-hmm.
Paragon's awesome. Yeah. Bloomington, though, you can just get right up on the high side if you're not scared or a little bit stupid.
Yeah.
You can get on that high side and you can keep your momentum up and keep the car wound up and just fly.
It's a good place to go and watch also.
Yes. Oh, man.
There's really not too many spots you can sit at where you can complain. I mean, and they're doing a lot of, upgrades there throughout the off season. So I'm sure it's going to be a much better place to go and watch now.
I'll go and watch now that Spikers took it. Yeah. I'll go watch.
There you go.
But the other guys before him, I'm good. I didn't want to give them any money because, I mean, we went to bring in 40 cars a night, almost 40 cars a night to Bloomington. To them, well, we're going to cut you guys down and we're going to lift these rules and say it's okay to do this and that when, you know, a lot of people can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
So that just cut the class in half. And then it cut it in half again. So
before you know it, car count went
down. Yeah. I mean, it was, I don't even remember when it was. I think it was 2012. We were all just sitting around working on our cars because at the time we had like 6 or 7 cars in our group, just ourselves. So Po Folks Racing.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there talking, man, we wish there was some more tracks that would run us because Bloomington was just running us a handful of times until we caught on.
Right.
And then, you know, Mike was like, you're on every night. You know, you're bringing in.
Well, you guys bring in not just cars, but
people.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Heck, people would come. You know, I'd bring 3 or 4 people with me. Dad would bring 3 or 4 with him.
Right.
And, you know, my buddies, they'd bring 5 or 6 with them.
Right.
So, you know, we were pretty much paying the show is what one of the guys that ran it said.
Right.
You guys are paying the show. You ain't going anywhere, which turned out to be a lie.
Right.
But, you know. Whatever.
So who all was in your group?
Frank Robertson. He had 63. He actually won the Sheldon Kinzer Memorial in 2015, I think.
Yeah.
And Tony Robinson, of course.
Yeah, I've known Tony for a while.
Yeah. Tony's he can drive.
Yeah,
he is. He's a really good driver. I'm trying to think of the other people because everybody just kind of phased out. You know? Jay Chapman, which he ran the speed drum before he started on dirt.
Okay.
And see, we were buddies with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, it makes it nice when you got different guys to bounce ideas off of, and you see what one guy's doing that's helping him. And I know that division has definitely progressed a lot over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Between all the trial and error and just, you know, trying different things and seeing what you can get away with. And they've come a long ways. I mean,
oh, yeah, definitely.
I know, you know, I've not, you know, watched a whole lot of guys that could get behind the wheel of them and make them look easy to drive.
No, they're definitely not easy.
You know, it's to me they look pretty challenging. I would have to say just by watching them, they're probably the hardest car to drive.
Well,
I don't know because I've never driven one.
If you're not used to it, if you've never raced anything at all, you'll do good in a Hornet.
Yeah.
But I've told a lot of people, they say, what have you learned running a Hornet versus, you know, what could you carry on to another division? I said, the flags.
Right.
That's it. You learn where to start and stop.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
There's nothing you can carry on to another division.
Completely different
Completely different. You're being pulled around, versus being pushed around.
Yeah.
You know, and it's way different, way different.
I bet it is. And so with all the different guys you've ran against over the years, who's some of the guys that you've enjoyed running against the most?
Oh, man. I love Chris Deckard's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awesome. You know, because he's in a wheelchair. Everything's hand control with his car. That's one of the things I had to change when I got his old car was I had to put pedals back in it and everything. Chris is fun to run with. Me and him had a really, really, really good B main one night.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. And this was the old promoters, not Mike Miles, but the other guys. There was 6 or 7 cars on the track. And they were taking, no, there was 5. Sorry. There was 5 cars on the track. They were taking 5 from the B. There was one person that didn't make the call. They put us out on the track. We rode around. I started pole. He started outside. I started outside pole. He started pole. We rode around for a couple laps. They come over the radio, said, all right, one more lap. Take the checkered, go on. You guys are all going to the show. As soon as he said that, the 6th car come up.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I was so mad that we had to run that B main.
Why not just put the 6th car in
Exactly.
the
Why not
main?
just let everybody go?
Yeah.
You know, what would it have hurt?
Right.
And anyway, me and Chris, we ran that B main side by side. I was on top, he was on bottom. And we just ran side by side until I thought, you know what, I've been nice to him. You know, coming out of 4, I dove down and I got close to his car.
Yeah.
You know, we never touched. People, when I got back to the pits, people were, what'd you hit Chris for? What'd you hit Chris for? Mad at me like I done, you know. I said, I never touched him.
But you guys are buddies.
Oh, yeah, me
right?
and Deckard are good
he would
friends.
know if you touched him.
Well, my first time in a car, in his old car, he rolled up beside me. He looked at me just with serious face, flipped me on.
Yeah, just
and
playing
I was like,
around.
Really? And we took off. It was really messed up, too. We took off, and somebody behind me shoved me into him and knocked him off the track.
Wow.
Yeah. So he thought, well, what's he doing running me off the track, you know? And he got back there, and his girlfriend at the time was like, no, he didn't do it on purpose.
She's seen what happened.
Yeah, she's seen what happened. Dad's seen what had happened. So they were like,
Everybody understood.
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun.
It's easy for stuff to happen inside the car where sometimes you might think it was intentional, and then until you see a replay of the footage or you've got that person that you can rely on to give you the right word on what actually happened.
Yeah.
But I can see where all that was probably good memories.
Well, in that B, I went down, and both of our cars started going like this toward each other. So I pulled up real quick, and my car didn't have power steering. So I went, just a little bit of turn, went way up the track. So it kind of looked like I bounced off of him. I ended up finishing second in that one. But
good memories made that night.
Jeremy Smith. He's awesome. I loved racing with him.
Yeah.
He was so much fun. And that was another one, me and him have this agreement. If we're going into a corner and one of us needs help getting through the corner, we'll lean on the other one. Or if we're starting nose to tail, we'll just bump.
Push.
We'll just push and bump. And one of his buddies got mad one night because I was bumping him.
Yeah.
And Jeremy in the car, he's going like this, keep going, because he wanted that little extra shove.
Yeah.
And the girl I was dating at the time, her and Dad was sitting in the stands, and that stupid inbred, blah, 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 hit and jam on this and that and all this stuff. And I get back to the pits, she comes running over, and she's like, that guy didn't like the way you and Jeremy were racing each other. I said, I don't care what he likes. I said, if he's got a problem, he can come down here and tell me. And she kept going on and on. I was like, I'll shut this up right now. I walked down there to Jeremy, and that guy was there. He puffed up, like he was going to do something. And I looked at Jeremy, and I said, hey, are you mad at me? He goes, no, I'm glad you pushed me. That's how I got by that car, I said, well, you need to tell your buddy to shut his mouth.
Well, he probably just didn't know much about it, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He had no clue.
Right.
After that, it was all good, And I liked messing with Greg Garrison.
Yeah.
Oh, God, me and him we had a lot of good back and forth on Facebook.
Okay. Well, that's always good fun and games.
Oh, man, it was. It was. I didn't realize how many people I was, I was legitimately making mad, thinking that, okay, these two really don't like each other, and he's talking.
The whole time you guys were just playing.
Oh, yeah, the whole time me and him would talk up a good go on Facebook. And then, at the track, we were cool with each other there for a while. If he needed a part,
you had it.
I had it.
Yeah.
Because I was right there next to JB's, and any Ecotechs that come in, we snatched them. For parts for ours, and I never had any ill feel. To the point where I wanted to beat him up. I never none of that.
Yeah.
But it got pretty funny.
Well, if you were competitive enough to run against Garrison, I mean, you had to be doing pretty well in that division because he got to be quite the hot dog.
He had his stuff together.
Yeah, he's pretty good in them.
Yeah.
So that's got to mean something to you right there.
Yeah, and I never was, competing for a win against him because my car versus his car, his was like a Ferrari, mine was a Pinto.
Yeah.
So yeah, but to know that I'm getting under these, this certain set of fans' skin,
right?
Right, and these people, and it was really funny because. One day he come up to me at Paragon. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I said, about what? He said, my group.
Yeah.
He said, have you not noticed? I said, no. What's going on? He said, every time you go for the parade, the wave lap, they're at the fence flipping you off. I said, I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Because I rarely pay attention to what's going on in the stands, especially the fan side.
Yeah.
The pit side, kind of, but not the fan side. And, there's nothing against fans, but
just trying to stay concentrated.
I'm focused on what's in front of me. So I went out there. I told him, I said, oh, well, I'll put it into that real quick. And went back out there for the feature. And they're standing at the fence, flipping me off. I just start blowing kisses at them.
Well, one thing that I've noticed with Greg, we've had him in here on the show, and I was telling him, we ran super stocks against one another a few years back, and boy, whenever you roll around that track, you can just see that glow of orange.
Oh my God!
He brings an army with him.
Yes, he does.
If you're getting under their skin, you definitely. Done something.
I don't know if it was right, wrong, or whatever, but me and him had fun with it all.
That's what's funny about it is you guys were in on it together.
Oh yeah.
So who all helps you on your car?
Dad helps a lot.
Yeah.
Stanley Lane, he helps a lot. Tim's helped a lot. The last couple of years, Don Novak and Reese Novak. I've been out there at their shop with them, helping with their car, and they're helping me with mine. I'll tell you one thing. For a kid, Reese, that boy, I don't care what it is. He'll tear it down, put it back together like that, and it'll be right. He is the hardest working kid I've ever seen in racing, and he's 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he started a few years ago. And one of my first memories of racing with Reese, he just got a new car, and Bloomington was rough, really rough. And me and him come out of 3 and 4, and we split a car. And I moved up the track, and I didn't realize that Reese was right there. And the top side of the track that night was just horrid. And I realized, okay, he's going way too high. So I ducked down in the middle of the track,
trying to give him some room.
And he comes up beside me, hard as he could drive in the corner. And I'm like, dude, get down. And it was too late. He'd went over and he'd flipped horribly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. It tore that car all to pieces. But they were back at it not long after that.
He walked out of it just fine, right?
Oh, yeah. When you're 14 years old, 13 years old, however old he was.
Yeah.
It's
a little easier to wake up the next day and stay motivated.
Yeah, he took a heck of a wreck at Twin Cities one night.
Yeah.
I mean, just flipped, just totaled a new car.
Wow.
And they took him to the hospital. He was fine, but
so he's had 2 pretty nasty.
Yeah,
flips.
Reese has had some pretty bad flips.
And in those Hornets, back years back, it didn't seem like guys were putting in quite as good of a cage.
No,
and
there was
gear
some
and
people
seats and really gumballing stuff together.
Yeah, it was nuts.
But it seems like over the last,
well, they're getting
several
faster
years now. They're getting a lot safer.
Yeah, they're getting faster, and they're really not as rules for safety. To me, you can't be too safe.
Right.
I don't care what it is. So anything to do with safety should be okay. But yeah, they're getting faster, and the cars, those cars ain't made to do what we're doing with them.
Right.
And it's been interesting watching how everybody progressed because, like you said, people were just doing crazy stuff with cages, just using exhaust tubing.
Right. Swing set cages. I've seen that.
Swing set
I have
cages.
seen that before.
Anybody that thinks that's a good idea, probably needs to go to a mental hospital. Back in 2011, me and some friends of mine went up north to buy a Hornet. You know, it was already built, everything.
Yeah.
And we got up there. Car looked great. Cage looked kind of weird. I grabbed the bar, one of the down bars from the top of the cage to the firewall deal.
Right.
The crossbar down there. Grabbed that, pulled it off. And it was exhaust tubing.
Wow.
So I was like, nah, this ain't happening.
Yeah.
And we got online and found a cage in Edinburgh and drove down, picked it up, and then we spent, you know, a night putting a cage in the car.
Right.
Because that was just crazy. I don't know why. And this guy, I ran the Nationals down at Salem. I said, then you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Didn't say it that nice.
Right.
But yeah, I said, you're an idiot. Because if you think that's a safe cage, boy, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
Because that was just, I mean, we got back and we were just pulling bars off like that. And I was like, I don't know how in the world people do that.
Right.
Why they think that's a good idea.
Well, you know, some guys probably just don't know any better.
No, they think,
so,
it's a cage. Well, yeah, it's a cage of death, but it's a cage. You know,
right.
I had a cage that was in Deckard's car. It was in 4 cars.
Yeah.
We cut it out and,
right.
you know, just
move
it was
over.
a good cage. I flipped once in with that cage and it held up good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started buying cage kits from Extreme. And they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun to put together.
Right.
But, you know, after a few of them, you know, people are like, hey, I got this cage. Come and help me put it together.
Right.
I'm like, as long as you can weld good, I'm good. I can't weld.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I can't weld. My buddies can weld. I can't. You want a hole blown in something?
Well, from what I've seen on Facebook, it seems like Brandon Norman, he does a real phenomenal job.
Yeah.
It looks like he's doing stuff with Crown Vics now, too.
Yeah.
So let's hear a little more about your plans for the Crown Vic class.
Well, got to get the car going first.
It sounds like you've made the decision to leave the Hornets and we're going Crown Vic racing.
Yep. Crown Vics all the way.
Was there any particular reason why you chose to go this route or just something different?
Yeah. Well, my car set after Fun Fest last year. I let some friends of mine take it down and run it. Mm-hmm. And there was something wrong with it. I didn't know what it was. It was leaking gas, wouldn't start, whatever. It sat at Tim's house for all winter.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get excited about going down there and checking it out, you know. And my buddy's like, hey, you know, what do you know about these Fords? Because, I mean, I like Ford trucks and stuff. They're like, you know more about them than I do. What are we going to do? What can I do? I said, well, send me pictures of it. He sent me pictures, and it's almost complete. All I do is finish the cage up and stuff. And I said, well, what you can do is just trade me.
Yeah.
I'll give you my Hornet, and you give me that Crown Vic. And we did the deal, and now I just got to get it going.
There you go. Well, from you know, what I seen last year, I know they were running them at Salem, Little Salem. I believe Brownstown's going to be running them this summer as soon as we get started.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if Bloomington's got any plans for them or Paragon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. They run them on the little asphalt track inside the big track at Salem.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you have any plans of?
Yeah, I love that track. I love going down there.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, I would say that division will probably take off.
I think so.
Pretty good.
It'll end up being another Hornet class. Man, Chad Taylor was talking about this last night.
Yeah.
You know, he said it's going to be another Hornet class.
Right.
I said, yeah, I know. All it's going to take is one person to figure out how to make it faster than the other ones.
Yeah.
And then off to
just
the races
keeps
we go.
Down.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll try it. I always love demoing Crown Vic, so, you know.
It's got to be fun going in a circle in one, then, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
Right. Well, you know, I would say probably won't be long then. Old Chad will be getting him one, won't he? Has he said anything?
I don't know. He might. I'm going to talk to him some more later. See if I can talk him into it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, get you a Crown Vic. Let's go. Let's go show these guys what these Hornet guys can do.
There you go. Stay on him.
Yeah.
Chad's funny. He's a riot.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, we had him in here, and he's pretty funny. He's passionate about the sport and what he done with the St. Jude's deal.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That is awesome.
You know, so
that is
prelude
awesome.
to the Scream.
Yeah, and, I like that race. That's good. I'm glad that's still going.
Yeah,
I hope it keeps going after all this Corona junk.
Right. I'm sure they will.
Oh yeah.
It's probably going to be July before we see any of our tracks open up. I'm afraid to say, but
probably.
You know, only time will tell.
Yeah.
So as far as sponsors on the car, who all do you guys have that helps you? Is it funded?
JB's.
Yeah.
JB Salvage, their number one sponsor. Right. And other than that, it's just us.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Big overtime.
Yeah, but it's just us turning the wrenches and
there you go.
Buying the stuff and making the stuff. You learn to become a fabricator when you start racing.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to learn how to do a lot of things. That's for sure. It's not just a show up on Saturday and run it.
No,
you guys are
NASCAR.
Doing the work there at the shop all through the week.
Oh man.
You know, I think a lot of people sometimes look at a Hornet and just think that, you know, it's like a car that you just bust the windows out of. And it sounds like at one time that's what
at one time it was. It was really funny. I started taking extra parts with me when I had a little Nissan Sentra in 2012, I think.
Yeah.
And I started taking an extra radiator, extra struts and everything. And Frankie's like, man, what are you doing with all that stuff? Because I'd have a pile of parts. It's like, what are you doing with all that stuff? I said, you never know. Right. I said, me and you have the same. Well, yeah, me and him had the same car at the time. I said, you've been to strut, pop a radiator, whatever. There it is.
Right.
You know, if it'll work with anybody else's, and it just kind of, you know, everybody started helping everybody.
Right.
You know, it turned out to be a really good deal. I honestly, when I started racing, I did not think I was going to make any friends.
Right.
At all. And I made a lot of friends, met a lot of good people that I probably wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for racing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a good feeling too whenever you have something that you can either loan or give.
Or even if it's just your knowledge of something.
Right.
You know, hey, how can I get this out? How do I change this? I don't know how many people. Hey man, I pulled the head off of my car. Can you come and help me set timing on it? And I'm like, dude, it's so easy. Well, I ain't never done it. I just want to make sure I get it right, you know. Or what's the torque specs to torque the head back down, whatever, you know. And, you know, it's good to just help people that need it, you know. Yeah. And there for a while, I had a really good fast car. And I started the year with a Bomber. Yeah. And that was, I spent too much time on the motor and not enough time worrying that the transmission was in the account. Yeah. And that didn't work out.
I see.
So I ran that like twice, I think, two or three, maybe three times, I don't know. Yeah. And then I started running that Hornet, and that thing was fast.
You just never looked back after you jumped in the Hornet.
Yeah, I got back in the Hornet, and it was... That silver car I had, we nicknamed it Silver Bullet. Yeah. And it was fast. What number was it? Lucky 13. Well, it was 13L.
13L?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I drove it was 13L. When Dad drove it was 3 because he's superstitious about 13.
Okay. I know a few people that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun until I ended up flipping it. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad deal. I was flying, leading the second pack one night during a makeup feature. Well, not a makeup feature. Bloomington was running double features every now and then for the Hornets. So I went out and ran the first feature. I don't even remember. I think I finished third in it. The first feature, I think. I don't remember. And the second feature, I went out and there was two packs broke up. I was leading the second pack, and Chad had got the lead right as this happened. A buddy of mine spun J.P. Matthews. Okay. He was driving Frank Robertson's car. Spun him coming out of 4. He got down in the grass and it was wet. Yeah. I'm flying, and Jaden Mahan was right behind me. I mean, right behind me. JP come up, and I thought, man, I'm just going to stay high because I don't want to break momentum. Because if I broke momentum, I was going to get run over.
Right.
I hit him, ramped over the front of his car, and it tore the whole left front suspension, everything out from under mine. And I was airborne. When I hit, the nose dug in. I went up on my nose, slammed real hard on the driver's side, rolled over to the passenger side.
Wow.
And
that was at Bloomington.
Yeah.
Off of turn 1?
Off of 1.
Yeah.
Yep, off of 1.
Okay. I thought I had a pretty good visual there.
Yeah, it was that was a hard hit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do.
Right.
When you know what's happening, you can I just grab my belts and tuck my chin in and go, yep, next hit's going to hurt.
Here we go. Well, it's
I took like a week, maybe a week. And my buddy Dan Smith messaged me, and he's like, dude, so what are you doing? I said, I'm healing up.
Yeah.
He said, bring that silver car up here. He said, I got a body. Got up there, it was just this pile of body panels.
Mm-hmm.
And me and him and a few other people spent a night up there cutting the cage out of the silver car, motor trans, putting it all in that. A night. Mm-hmm. We had it
back to
ready to go around for wiring. Yeah, that was it. I took it down. Dad wired it up. And it was on the track.
There you go.
And I ran it. That was the first car I ran consecutive years, as long as I've been racing Hornets.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'd never had the same car 2 years in a row.
Okay. Wow.
Pretty hard on them.
Sounds like it.
But, you don't get them to play. You don't get them to baby them.
Right.
I don't care how they look. Looks don't win races.
Right.
Looks, well, I ain't won no races. But
well,
maybe I need to have a good looking car. Maybe I will.
There you go. Well, it's all about just having fun.
Oh yeah,
and if you're having fun, that's all that's important.
Yeah,
and whether you've got all the money in the world to go do whatever you want, or you just want something to go out and have fun with on the weekends with your family and your friends. I mean, that's all it's about. Yeah. So,
and I've seen a thing on Facebook: if it keeps you out of trouble, it's not a waste of money.
That's true.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah,
yeah. I'd say a lot of guys can relate to the race cars keeping them out of trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you have any future plans of moving to any other divisions outside of the Crown Vic class? Yeah,
I'll probably finish up in the Crown Vics and just say the heck with it.
I bet you're gonna have a good time.
Oh yeah, it looks fun.
It does look fun.
It looks like a good class to start in. Get into, and like I said, I know a lot about those motors and stuff. And my buddy, he's hardcore demo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got 1 million cop cars. And, if I need parts, there they are.
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be stupid not to.
Right.
Not to, because I won't ever have to buy a part. I won't ever have to buy a part.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that ought to be a good time. I mean, I would say within just a few short years, there'll probably be a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of them.
It started out, I think 3 or 4 cars at tracks, running.
Right.
And just like the Hornets, when I first saw them, I can't remember when they ran the exhibition race for the Hornets at Bloomington.
Yeah.
I went there and watched, and I thought, this is never going to take off. People want to come here and watch cars go 90, 100 miles an hour around this track, not 30.
Yeah.
Because from the stands, it doesn't look like you're going that fast.
Right.
In reality now, especially, I mean, you're in a Hornet, a good built Hornet, you're running, 70, 80 mile an hour around the track.
Yeah.
And it's insane. We had a meeting a while back. One of the guys that was running it years ago after Mike left, he's like, how fast do you guys think you're going? And we just kind of looked at each other, and 70, 80, the slow one's probably 60. Now I had a radar gun, one of the sheriffs down there, and you guys are barely going 40. And we all laughed and said, yeah, maybe in hot laps.
Yeah. Well, I'll be real honest. Like you said, it always looks different from the stands.
Yeah.
I've never driven one.
You want to drive one?
I would have guessed, I would have guessed 45 to 50, but I don't know how fast the mods or sprint cars are going either. I have nothing to go off of.
We weren't real.
It's not like they all got speedometers in them.
Well, see, that's what's funny. The Hornets, Luke Bland.
He had speedometer in
his gauge cluster in his, and one of his in cars, it showed that.
Yeah.
And he was going 80.
Huh.
And I was like, nice, because I never kept a speedometer. I never paid attention. If I had a gauge cluster in mine, it was just to read how much gas was in it. Because I've screwed up a few times and run out of gas. I built a car. We got one from JB's as a Cavalier. First Ecotech I ever got. Mm-hmm. And took our time with it. We got a late model or modified chassis that somebody had junked. Cut the front, back, and sides off of it. And we wrapped the Cavalier body around that. Yeah. Oh, God, that car was so fast. Huh. Yeah, it was awesome. The first night out, I think I started third or fourth in the heat race. And these Hondas come up. It was really funny. These Hondas come up from Brownstown. And everybody's afraid of them. It's like, I don't care. And we took off. They took off. And Jeremy Carpenter was on the track with me. He was in front of me. And I didn't know how the car was going to react. I'd never drove one of those before. So I kind of played around, to get by him so I didn't rough him up or anything. And once I got by him, I tracked those Hondas down and just blew them away. Half-tracked everybody in that heat race. And then Feature come along. I was getting ready to pass a really good friend of mine, Dan Morgan. I was getting ready to pass him for third. It sputtered. I thought, oh no. Got down on the apron of the track, and the bottom of the track, it picked back up. Mm-hmm. I thought, okay, cool. I didn't lose that much. Kept going, got in the corner. You can't run those Ecotechs on a quarter of a tank of gas.
Especially on the high bank.
On the banking, it all goes away. So, I probably would have won that race.
Yeah.
That night, had we put more gas in it, because we just put a gallon in it. Wow. When we put a tank back up in it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Probably just rushing, trying to get everything ready.
We were.
Well, I would say you're probably not the first guy or the last guy that's done that.
No, so. One night it was at Paragon. It was really funny. Chris Hillman's boy, Little Hillman's what I call him.
Yeah.
He was starting pole out, and I was outside pole. He kept crowding, because I don't know. He's just like, man, he was real young. Mm-hmm. And he just kept crowding like that. And finally I was like, you know what, I'm going up here to my starting spot. And he come up and we touched like that. And he woke up, he realized I was there. And we took off, and something happened to the car. And I had to pull off. And I thought, well, Little Hillman's got this. Mm-hmm. He pulls into the infield or the pits, one of the two. He pulls off, and then I talked to him.
He was out of fuel.
Mm-hmm. I said, dude, you can't be doing that. It was funny because Chris, Big Hillman, he got a hold of him. He's like, dude, you need to go tell this a boy sorry for crowding him and driving like this, And he got up there, and me and him talked, and shoot, Little Hillman's awesome. Mm-hmm. They're that whole group is just cool as I don't know what.
Chris he's a lot of fun to run against in the super stocks. I know that. Me and him had some good battles.
Yeah,
he's tough. He's good awesome. In them cars. And I know his son. What'd you say his first name is?
Topher's what everybody calls him.
Okay, so I know he's done really well in those Hornets.
Oh, my God. He is just
so I keep waiting to see him jump into super stocks and just set the world on fire. So
I remember one night at Bloomington, Chris, Big Hillman, got in Mark Gott's car. And first time in a Hornet. Mm-hmm. I was behind watching him he took Frank out. Frank Roberts took him out. Because, it's totally different. Mm-hmm. And I got up on him, and I was like, no, I passed him. He come up to pass me, And I don't think I've ever drove as hard into one as I did coming out of 4 with Hillman right here.
Yeah.
Thinking, nope. I got around him, and he ended up finishing. I think I finished second in that heat race, and he finished third.
Yeah.
And, it
was a good night.
Oh, it was fun.
Yeah.
But Big Hillman, I go back, and he's loading the car up. I was like, what are you doing? You finished right behind me, right? Yeah. I said, then you made the show. What are you doing? He goes, you guys are crazy. He said, I don't see how you guys control these cars. I'm going up on the hill drinking a beer and watching the race. He said, forget that.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, man,
that's cool.
It was fun though.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. It's having a good time and hoping everybody makes it home safe at the end of the night and making good friends, like you said. Man. I mean, that's one of the best parts about dirt racing. If I sat here and tried to name off the people I've met and become good friends with just racing, we'd be here all night. I mean, it's huge. But, is there anybody you'd like to give special thanks to before we wrap this up?
Just thanks to my dad, and Tim. If it wasn't for either one of them and JB Salvage is,
big supporters.
Big. If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for JB's, we wouldn't have got started.
Yeah.
Because they're awesome. Kent, all of them. Yeah. They're all good people.
Yeah. And they always have been huge support to the racers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anybody that races knows that.
Yeah. JB himself, he was awesome.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, then I'm gonna wrap this up.
All right.
Again, we do appreciate you taking the time out of your evening, man.
Not a problem.
Well, that concludes another episode of Off the Track, where you get the dirt. If you have not already liked us on Facebook, please be sure and go over and give us a like. You can reach us at bluechiptech.net. Give us a call at 812-807-7050 for all your engine needs. Be sure and tune in next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for another episode. We appreciate you joining us. Have a great evening.